This video report is brought to you in association with Halcyon, the classic 95-foot Bermudan ketch built in 1929, which is now available for charter. The popularity of the Royal Ocean Racing Club's offshore season continued this weekend with another bumper entry for the Guingand bull race. Nearly 80 yachts started on the squadron line in very light conditions, with a westerly force 2 and a flooding tide helping the fleet east under spinnakers. IRC Class 3 had no fewer than 8 Sigma 38s racing in their second RORC race for their offshore series. Chris and Vanessa Choules with alacrity achieved first among the Sigmas, with Nigel Goodhue's Persephone of London and Nick Gale's Zanzara taking the second and third places respectively among the Sigmas. Overall for Class 3, it was David Lee's Hepzibah which achieved line honours after a 27-hour race and a 4-minute win on corrected time from Mark Himsworth's Contessa 32 drumbeat. Mark also took the win for the double-handed series in class and overall. Grigg and Jackson's Dans La Rouge were placed third on corrected time. IRC Class 2 had the highest number of double-handed entries with no less than 11, showing that this series is increasing in popularity. Nick and Susie Jones' first 34.7 Astarte won the two-handed race last time out, and they were not to be disappointed this time, with an overall class win and second in the double-handed overall scores. Robin Taunt's J109 Jibe missed the second place slot by just 4 minutes on actual and corrected times to Simon Kerwin's J105 Boador, which also placed third in the double-handed series. It was close racing amongst the 17 Class 1 entries, and the 3 lead boats finished in just over half an hour of each other. Graham Lewis, on his first 40.7 below zero, took line honours and the handicap win from Michael Birmingham on his Corby 34 Oxygen 3, who placed just 4 minutes ahead on corrected time from Inspire, Mike Theobald's Elan 410. In IRC Class 0 there was a highly varied field including 2 brand new yachts. One of them was Piet Bruin's Kerr 46 Tonnerre de Breskens, which made an impressive winning debut last weekend in RORC's IRC National Championship. She was taking her first offshore outing in this race, and she didn't disappoint, and the results showed she finished an incredible 6 hours ahead of the rest of the fleet. Second and third place on corrected time went to 2 J133s. Yves Grosjean's Givaro finished second, with Neil Martin's Jammy Dodger in third. The emerging talents aboard the IYA's TP52 John Merrick's 2 were keen to defend their overall win in last year's race, but unfortunately it was not to be, and it was Derek Saunders' Venomous which took the win, despite some very suspect crew handling at the start. John Merrick's 2 took second place, with the only other boat in the class, the new Class 40 Orca, failing to finish. Cowes Corinthian Yacht Club hosted a 4-day Sonar Two Sail Regatta this weekend, with race officer Ian Lallow setting windward leeward courses to the east of the Bramble Bank. The entries included teams from Norway, France and 4 teams from the UK. John Robertson, the UK Paralympic sailor, led from the very start and never returned a result lower than second over the whole regatta, and eventually bagged the winner's trophy. The French team, skippered by Stephen Mayem, were placed on equal points with Team Norway, but on countback Team France has secured 2 first places, one on Thursday and one on Saturday, and this was enough to put them ahead of Team Norway. The sailors would have wished for the last day's sailing, but unfortunately due to light winds, the final day's racing was abandoned. This weekend, the Royal London Yacht Club hosted the 3rd round of the Red Funnel Cowes Keelboat Championship. This was only the second weekend of Red Funnel racing to follow the format of windward lewards, as the first event had moved to a shoreline start due to strong winds. Conditions were light on Saturday, and the race committee changed the starting sequence to accommodate late starters to the line. so it was the 7 Darings who took to the line first. Your narrator had been given a weekend off from filming, and the crew of Audax kindly invited me as a guest helmsman. We chose the left-hand side of the beat, and it proved to be the way to go with better pressure, and by the first windward mark, Audax had a good lead. With a failing breeze, the race committee changed the course at the leeward mark, and we were finished at the end of the lap. With it all going light on the run, we on Audax were under attack, but we managed to hold the lead to the finish. Decoy took second, with Dynamite in third. In the second race of the day, the wind recovered enough for the fleet to get in 2 laps. Decoy was triumphant in this race, with Dauntless in second, and Dynamite again coming in third. Audax came in fourth. On Sunday, after a long wait for wind, the Daring fleet mustered 6 boats for the first race and 3 for the second. In the first, it was Decoy which led Audax home, with Defiant in third. The second race saw Audax again finish in second, giving her the best of the weekend's results. We were led home by Dynamite, with Double Knot taking third. The Dragon class saw a slightly better turnout this weekend, with 5 coming to the line for Saturday's racing. Ecstatic and Supremacy finished the day on equal points, with both returning a first and a third, while second was filled by Jerboa in the first race and Cavalier in the second. On Sunday, Ecstatic reigned supreme with 2 bullets, making them the top boat for the weekend. In race 1, Gabriel Wilkinson Cox's Jerboa took the second spot, with Supremacy in third. In the second race, Supremacy moved up the rankings to take second, ahead of Jerboa. It seems that the X-Boat fleet are starting to emerge from their winter hibernation, and this weekend 6 turned out to race. Myrtle was to be victorious over the weekend and placed first in all 3 of the weekend's races. Xin Bai was close on Myrtle's heels and took the second spot on both days. Jonathan Nash's Rachel showed consistency and took both the third places on Saturday, but didn't turn out for racing on Sunday. The Etchells were delayed in their start on Saturday, as most of the fleet struggled to get to the line on time. It must have been a good party the night before. Nonetheless, some close racing ensued, but it was Graham Bailey and Arbitrator which took the lead from Pale Tide and Mayhem. Arbitrator and Pale Tide hung on to their positions in the second race, but this time it was Best Mate which took third. On the Sunday, just 2 Etchells showed up to the line. Graham Bailey took 2 bullets ahead of Chris Torran's Best Mate. Next week, it's a JP Morgan Asset Management Round the Island race, and we'll be covering all the action from the land and the water. Look out for our Cows TV rib if you're on the water, and be sure to give us a wave. Our full report will be online shortly after the event, so make sure you check it out. See you then. This video report was brought to you in association with Halcyon, the classic 95-foot Bermudan ketch built in 1929, which is now available for charter.